All praises to the Most High in Christ. Bless. Be blessed. Be blessed. Blessings to all those that love Christ and love God, Yahweh, and love the truth. So we want to educate our people. That's the only reason I'm out here, to educate you, educate our people as a whole, that you will understand what it means to be free. Once you understand what it means to be free, according to what God, the Most High, calls freedom, He separated the nations and He appointed His chosen to carry His laws, to be witnesses to Him. Ain't that what Christ said? Go out and be a witness to God, to show the people who He is. We are supposed to carry this word out and show the people who God is, right? We're not supposed to be out here to gather our self-esteem or to be exalting ourselves, and have the people worshiping us. I thank God that I'm not popular, but I'm still teaching the word because that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to show people who God is. The disciples, uh, the disciples, uh, uh, displayed a desire to know who God is when they asked Christ, the Father, show us the Father. Then Christ said, have you not known the Father? When you see me, you see the Father. Why? Because Christ was acting like God. He was acting like God because he was keeping the commandments of the Most High, and he was doing, he was saying and doing everything the Father told him to do. So in other words, we're supposed to be displaying our character, the character of God. Our character should be in line with the character of God, right? So I'm asking you, do you think the Most High God would bow down to another nation ruling him on the earth? I'm talking about y'all Israelite camps and Christians and everybody that give the United States and everybody that come in this country under their banner. You give them jurisdiction over you. You reverence them. From the Africans to everybody else, you give them reverence over who you are. Now, the Most High God, He said he placed us above all the nations on the earth. You don't want that. You want to make them, you giving them the responsibility to govern the earth. That's a bunch of lazy damn people, man. Disobedient, lazy. That's just like those FBAs, those black Esau's. Now I found out what their motive is. Their strategy is that they want to be the new niggas, the new slaves. They want to assure the governing wicked government, people who claim to be governors on the earth, to govern us in all aspects of life, overseers. They want to assure them that they will not revoke, and they will forget what happened in the past to their ancestors. They're going to forget all about that. They're going to comply to the government's every wish. And as long as you just identify them, let them carry the identity of FBAs. So they're, in other words, they selling out. They are selling out their nation. The same thing happened in Egypt. I mean, coming out of Egypt, right? When God delivered us out of Egypt, when it was time to go into, now they did all kind of wicked stuff, but when it was time to cross over Jordan and go into the Canaan land where there were giants, the whole tribe of Dan, These might be now. These FBAs might be descendants of that Dan group. But I know they are following the same wicked spirit that was on those people then. After everything the Most High had did for this tribe, the tribe of Dan, and all those people that got on the side, that got off the side of Joshua and Caleb, and got on the side by themselves and said, we don't want to go in the land. The wicked spies that said we can't take them, we can't take the land, so we're gonna just stay over on this side and just do our thing. So those are the same spirits that are inhabiting the FBAs, the politicians, the people that want to keep calling themselves black, that don't want to identify with their biblical identity. They don't want to be above all nations. They don't want the position that the Most High places in. It's too hard. It's too much for them. It's too much. They got to give up all the wickedness of Babylon, of Egypt. They got to give up all the wickedness that they pleasured their bodies with, that they pleasured themselves with. They got to give it up, and they don't want no parts of it, right? So we see the same thing happening today. So for the people who will accept the position God put us in and our ancestors birthed us into, when they said, we will keep the laws, let Christ's blood be on us and our children forever. If you will accept that and repent, you are the Israelites, repentant Israelites, and you keep the law, then, that's who my target audience is. Right? You will. So I want to show you an example of what would happen if we gather together and declare who we are openly to the public. We are all of one consensus. We're cohesive in this ethnocentric thought. We're saying the same thing. We're monolithic. We're saying the same things. We are the Israelites. We follow God's law. We are governed by Christ and the Spirit of God and His laws. And we reject, we denounce the United States governing us in our land, and we claim everything back that you stolen for us. We claim it. It's ours. I know y'all say that sounds stupid. What do you think they're going to do? Just give it back to you? No, they're not going to just give it back to you. Let me ask y'all something. What did Hosea see in the first chapter in the 10th and 11th verse? We were the sands of the sea. That's happening now. They see this too. The people who call themselves government and call themselves in charge of us, belligerent trustees over our affairs, they see we are like the sands of the sea. Why you think they just ain't ran in and killed us? Why you think why you think that they just haven't overpowered us and killed us, deleted us from the earth? They hate us now. We're no good to them. We're feeble-minded, and we're trying to take our identity back. That means taking our heritage back from them. Why do you think, they just all-out attack? Why do you think they keep doing these little sneak attacks and putting drugs and guns when we want to kill ourselves, delete ourselves, Why do you think they're going that route? Why do you think they made all the treaties with who y'all say was just Gad and Issachar and the Seminole Indians, which I don't believe that, and anybody in their right mind wouldn't believe that they were running from 3 tribes. 300, they outnumber us, and it was only 3 tribes here. No, the whole 12 tribes were here. When Judah got here, the whole 12 tribes was here. They wouldn't have made those treaties if they could outpower us. Why did they go the sneak attack way if they could just outpower us? We more powerful than you. How y'all more powerful than us when God set us above all of y'all? How are you all more powerful than us, and you won't just come and put us in chains and take us and make us, why did you let us out of slavery? Y'all the devils. Y'all let us out of chains to try to keep us in a sneaky slavery. Why didn't you just make all of our children and everything? Why didn't you have the children after the ancestors died? Why didn't you just take our children and be happy with them, our children? Because we've always been more powerful than you, and you had to make sneaky laws and sneaky governments and steal the power gradually. Gradually, you had to steal the power gradually because you couldn't overpower us. And that's what I'm trying to get the people to see. But it's a way to do it because we do know they have guns, and if it get to the point where we just go and grab them and expel them out of the country, they'll use their nukes on this country, right? That's not Bible prophecy. So we know we'll be out of line with God if we do that. Just go capture them and start capturing them and putting them in chains and stuff. That's not the prophecy. Christ, the Most High God Christ is going to do that. He's going to take them and de-escalate them and take their power from them, depower them to the point to where, and then he's going to give us supernatural bodies where their weapons cannot harm us. He already told us no weapon formed against us shall prosper. We got to consider all these tools that God gave us to defeat these people with. We just can't go in and be barbaric, because some of them are going to be our slaves. Some of them going to cleave to us. Some of them is going to repent because they know the truth. We give them the law, and we expect them to follow that law. Some of them will follow the law. He didn't tell us to kill everybody in the world. Some of them will follow the law when they hear it. Okay? Now, those people that went out and marched around Washington, D.C., let's get to that. I'm going to play this video. You can play it, but my commentary is going to explain to you what that was all about and what this is about and why this all came about. Okay? Those people that went out and marched in the street and said, we do not want this governor and his regime away with Trump. They were exercising the rights of the people and the power of the people. The power of the gathered people on one accord. And that's how many people you think was out there? Maybe 300,000, maybe. It was all over the country. Now, you say, well, that's because they were white, they listening to them, they backed Trump off. Well, the next day, let's see, yeah, this is the lawsuit. Let me see. Yeah, this is a lawsuit that they filed against D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser. Held press conferences on lawsuit against President Trump D.C. takeover, right? They filed it in court. Why was they successful? Because the people spoke. The people spoke. What am I trying to show you? Let's listen to this first.
Being used strategically. And while we aren't controlling them, we do have the ability to influence how they're being deployed.
Mayor Bowser? Thanks. No more questions. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, so here's why that matters. Under the Home Rule Act, DC elects the mayor and council to run local government. The mayor has the authority to appoint the police chief, and the chief runs day-to-day policing. Now, Congress can meddle in DC laws, and the federal government can request help for strictly federal purposes, but, request is not replace. Local control of local policing is the rule.
So, what I'm showing you is that they have laws set up, right? And they have a way to apply these laws in every situation. And the power of the law is the people who stand behind it. Now, did these protesters have guns? Did they loot and set stuff on fire? No, they just all gathered saying the same thing. Think about it. There was no way that they could go out and put enough people out there. They overpowered the military. They outnumbered them. When I say they overpowered, that means they outnumbered them with no guns. The military, if Donald Trump wanted to persist his takeover, he would have to kill everybody out there on the streets, right? And he would have to drop a bomb, right? Or send helicopters in. And even those Apache helicopters come in with all them heavy artillery, couldn't have killed all those people at one time. So the people would have scattered, hid behind buildings where the helicopters couldn't come, and maybe escaped, a lot of them. What would that have done? The next thing they would have to do is gather all the military in this country to one location and just went and wiped out that whole crowd and followed them home and just, did everything, started an all-out war against them. What would that have done? They would have lost. First place, they couldn't have got all the military here in one place. In time and before the people got home, got their guns, and the rest of the people realized, the rest of the world realized that the military is attacking its people. Donald Trump's regime is attacking the people. The people were already gathered together in one mind. So they would have brought 300 million people, or maybe 400 million people, against Donald Trump's military. With maybe everybody got 5 clips. They would have slaughtered the government. That's what's going to happen. That is inevitable. That's going to happen. What they're doing is testing the waters to see, will the people gather against them rich people? And now they see. They are on the run. Now they see the Bible prophecy is right and the devil is wrong. Their ideology, what does Wisdom of Solomon say? They formulate their thinking. They sit on their best and came up with ideas. We can take over we can take the people and rule them and make them work for us and make us rich. We just make these laws and make them think that, we're more powerful than them, and these laws are God's laws. This is the law that God put out here. God put us in charge over them. We are the moral standard. We are Christians. That's why they use Christianity and religion to make themselves appear that they are ordained by God, that this is God's working, that they are set in place by God. So who would want to go against God's ordained? because we know that they have the power of God behind him. That's what kept the slaves from destroying the slave master for so long, because they put the picture of Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shah, they painted him white to make it appear that these were God's people. That's how they stole our identity. But for the most part, they wanted to stop us from attacking them and looking at them as the devils who they are. That's why they say we are endangering their people who they set up as to be God's chosen people by letting the world know that they are the synagogue of Satan. Because then the people will lose respect for them and will not exalt them as God's chosen people, and they are nothing but a bunch of weak cowards. They don't want to fight. They use the law as their strength because they have no strength. They are the weaker vessels. Right? So we're still gonna get into this. I just want to give you some ideas. What's happening? The Most High is doing this, and He's not gonna just do it all. Did He go into Canaan land and destroy the giants before He sent the people in? No, He did not. He delivered you. Now have the audacity or the gumption to go in and trust God to give you power to overcome your enemies. He's going to do it. The United States is a giant. They have nukes. That's the only thing. They have nukes and drones. They have the Skyway. We control that. We have angels and chariots up there. We control the Skyway. You got to utilize the tools that God gave you. First, you got to get your mind in one place. And I was talking about what changed the ruling class, Donald Trump and the people behind the curtains with the puppet strings and all of that, and the military, the generals and everything. What made them say, hey, we better back off? It wasn't a lawsuit. It was the people gathered together in one mind. They cannot outnumber. They say we're about 70 million strong in North America. I say more, 100 million in North America, and the Israelites. And those people that was out there, they're marching around the White House, they with us too. They with us too. What God has showed them is that if He's with us, He's with them. It's much better to be ruled and to trust God and the people He set up. The people He set up to rule the earth, because they're going to be much kinder. When the righteous rule, the people rejoice. And they know that. So the people are helping to change, to bring down the Egypt, Babylonians, the government. They are the people who make the laws to hold the population, white and black, in captivity. So now the people are saying, we would rather these Israelites, we would rather give God the rule back, because y'all have showed us. He revealed the devil. By God revealing who the devil is, their character, forcing them to bring their true character out, because what they're doing, they had to come out and be the devils that they are, because they were losing their power behind the curtain. The curtain wasn't working no more. They couldn't control the minds of the people because God had put the truth out there and blowed the trumpets. So now they've been revealed, so they had to start working as devils. They had to let their true colors show, because they had to reach out there and gather their power back to keep control, so they exposed themselves. And the people saw it. They said these are devils controlling us, making our laws. They're going to destroy us too, because they're only for themselves. Sensational, narcissistic, and they don't care about their own people. That's a lie. You don't care about white people. You don't care about your other Edomites. You never did. You only care about yourself and your immediate servants around you, which would be your kids. And you don't care about them. You set up this system and enjoying all the cream off the top, leaving your children to pay the bill, to suffer the punishment for you of your crimes. You leaving them to suffer the judgment of your crimes. You don't care about your people, white people. I'm gonna give it to you. This is your world. White people, they don't care about you. Now, take your place. Take your place in God's kingdom. And you know where that is. I ain't got to beat you over the head with it. You're going to be better off. You're going to be better off. You see it. You know it. You're going to be better. You're going to be better off in God's kingdom than you are. That's what you've been saying. You bought into the ideology from their religious standpoint in Christianity that you're going to be better off in God's heaven than you are in their earth right now. So, okay, I'm not going to hold you much longer, but I'm going to tell you the main point. Let's listen real quick.
Well, it's not the exception. According to DC's Attorney General, what's his name? Brian Schwab, the federal government apparently pushed language suggesting it had taken control of MPD and installed an outside official to run the department. The city sued, arguing that this was a hostile takedown, no takeover in plain violation of home rule. So in court today, the judge basically signaled agreement with the basic point. The law is explicit about who controls MPD and all that. After that, federal officials pulled back and said they would rewrite the language that implied a takeover. Chief Smith remains the chief, full stop. Mayor Bowser and AG Schwab, they both said the goal isn't to fight for the sake of fighting. DC has always worked with federal partners on federal missions. That cooperation.
Now we're looking into how they think, right? We see that's a glimpse on how they think, right? When they're pushed back on, then these weaklings don't want to come out in the street and fight. They don't fight for the sake of fighting. They fight for a purpose. Right? So the purpose for us gathering together is to let them know, as a group of people, the whole nation, we are not y'all slaves. And if you're going to make laws, we don't believe that your laws are the law of the land. We don't believe that your laws are designed by God to hold us in slavery. We are out of slavery. When he woke us up from the maze you had us in, from the lie that you are his chosen people and we need to comply with you to comply with God, we don't believe that. We know it's not. God has showed us the truth. You have been set in your place by the Most High God. You've been revealed. You revealed your own self. God told us who you was, and then when you realized that we all saw you in your true light, or darkness, in your true darkness, when you realized that, then you said, let's go out. We have nothing to cover up anymore, nothing to hide. Let's go out and just use the power we grab and keep them in fear so we can grab everything up that we can, what's that word I want to use? That we could salvage up. Let's grab everything we can salvage and take it in our control. And because the Most High, we're not under his blessings anymore. We're not under our forefather Esau's blessings. We cannot take everything we want with the sword. God is bringing us down. They see that. And so he's got this. The next thing they see is he's got this army. He's waking these dry bones up, these feeble-minded people. Now they understand what it means to be free, because you got Obed over there, and you got the Israelites reading out the Bible, and everybody just is discovering and pulling up history. Everybody's doing their research. They know who they are. The only thing they don't have now is togetherness. Hosea was prophesying through the Most High's vision. He said they will say that you are the sons of the living God. They will say that out of their mouth, not because they have repented, not because they got a different heart. It's because they have no other choice. Because you are saying who you are, and you stood up for your ancestors and your inheritance and your identity. You demanded back. You just took it back. You just said, this is who we are. We know what you've done. This is who we are. And we don't care what you think. We know who we are. This is our land. You stole our inheritance. And the next thing you do, once they see that, just like they saw this crowd out here saying, Donald Trump, get out of there. Did they go in there and put him out? No. But they realized that they couldn't fool the people no more. The people wasn't going to be silent, just stand back and let them do what they wanted to do. They thought all the people were on their side. That the white people would do anything like they've been doing. They would cut their own nose off. They would vote against benefits for themselves just to keep black people from getting it. They would sacrifice their own well-being just to keep us. They from getting the things we need. And once they seen that the people were not willing to do that anymore, then they rectified it through the lawsuit. They said, okay, they filed a lawsuit, so it's right, it's law, it's right. We got to do it because it's law. Judges, we're gonna you rule like this. We can't beat the people. The same little cowards that they always been. So we can't beat God. So us gathering together, bringing these laws out in a lawsuit, the Peace and Friendship Treaty, the Constitution, the human rights, international law, we have to rebuttal them and stand and file a lawsuit. We're giving them a chance to settle peacefully. We're giving them a chance to say, these are the laws, these are the rules. We got God's laws, we've got the treaties, we've got your agreement with our ancestors that you would not mistreat us. We let you come over here. We've been sitting back while you mishandled our resources and our affairs. You brought us to the bottom and you raised up way above us. And you killed us, you secretly genocide us and gentrified our neighborhoods and took everything we had, paper genocide, and from our identity, you stole our inheritance. We know. We're giving you a chance to settle peacefully. We're filing this lawsuit, and we demand and command you to rescind your behavior, your FBI, your government overreach, your government jurisdiction over us, and your false laws. We're giving you a chance to rescind all of that, and ain't that what happened right here in this video? We're giving you a chance to rectify your behavior. If you don't, then you have declared war against us. If you decide, no, we will not give you your stuff back, we will not recognize who you are, we will not say out of our mouth that you are God's chosen people, we will not do that, we rather have war with you, then that's what we want to hear. That's what we have to do. That's what the Most High God is expecting us to do, is to rebuttal their claim to be our gods. We have to denounce them as our gods, because when they say they govern us, they are saying that they are our gods. They are saying that they are our gods, right? And that's what we know that they are not. And the Most High is waiting for us to say, denounce them as our gods and denounce the Most High God as our governor. Denounce their laws and proclaim that we follow our God again. That's all. It's as simple as that. That's all I've been trying to teach. All of those 500 and something videos, that's all I was trying to teach. And we see it playing out, because I know the Israelites say it won't play out political, and we ain't got to draw up no paperwork, and we ain't got to file no lawsuits to get out of slavery. We're out of slavery. We have to file the lawsuit to get them to, we have to file the lawsuit as another treaty, not the FBA, not the Roland Martin. We don't keep voting in their system. We, Declaration of Independence. We declare our independence from them. They already have, they know what they're supposed to do. They when they say we don't declare, they've already set the rights of indigenous people. They already know what they got to do. They have to start funding and everything to help us build our community back up. We know that they're not going to do that. They might pretend, they might say y'all are the sons of the living God, but they're going to still secretly, they're going to still secretly, in their hearts and in their minds, hate us and do whatever little thing, unseen thing they can do to work against us. But in the meanwhile, the Most High God is going to break them all the way down. But this, while they are in power, they are going to say, you are the sons of the living God. That's midway the birthing. Actually, that's the head coming out of the womb. Coming out of the womb. That's the baby's head coming out of the womb. It's happening. The birth is happening. Not just the retractions. The head is out of the womb. Right? So what can you do now? Prepare for the baby to drop. And that's what the Most High is doing. When he removed them from government, then he's preparing us to be delivered. We have been delivered. When he removed them, then they have no more jurisdiction over us. So you got to look and see, man. You got to put it in application. You got to put it in real time. What does it look like for us to come out of America and for them to say, you are the sons of the living God? We renounce our first decree that we are the people of God. We saying y'all are the people of God now. They have to that's breaking down their whole system when they say that. They're going to say it, but they're not going to say it until we gather together and say it and declare who we are. They can't take that back. They can't stop us from believing who we are. They can't, come up with evidence. We're going to got evidence here to prove that y'all ain't no. They can't backpedal that. And everybody that's standing up there employed by the United States government is going to look like they got egg on them. They're going to have egg on their face. They're going to look like fools. when God raised us back up and birth us. Now the birthing process, when the head start coming out of the womb, which is now, they're getting ready for the baby to drop. But when we stand up and unite, like we saw the reaction of the people here when they said, they marched and said, Donald Trump, be gone. We don't want no more government. You see them trying to regroup and saying, okay, we gotta retract. Nobody thought that would happen. Those were the birthing pains. Those were the birthing process. This is part of the birthing process. He's showing us how to fight. Okay, so all praises to the Most High. I just wanted to show y'all what will happen if we gather together, file a lawsuit against these people that's giving them a chance to settle without a fight, without a physical fight. We're giving them a way out without God destroying all of this, just destroying them with the hurricanes, the winds, and everything. We could pray that he release all the full force on them when they go home and in their houses. He could release the full force like he did in that Texas tornado, where he took and wiped all those neighborhoods down to the foundation and splintered the people's body parts and spread it all over that Category 5 tornado and splintered them all over the territory where there wasn't no debris. It was just foundation, that footer, the footer. There was nothing left on their land but the footer. The body parts he pulled the scalps from their heads, skinned them, skinned the animals, ripped the skin off their bodies. Birthing pains. They are not blessed anymore. They are the cursed people, and they realize that, and some of them will cleave and come back to the Most High. God, I'm being redundant, but so all praises to the Most High. I hope y'all see. I'm going to keep making these videos every opportunity to help wake you up. God bless.